My name is Sai Krishna Prakash, and the title of the book is Imperial from the Beginning, the Constitution of the Original Executive. One of the overall claims of the book is that the presidency established by the Constitution was actually quite regal in the sense it was a quite powerful office. It wasn't a weak office. And though the founders were concerned about excessive presidential power, or more precisely excessive executive power, they nonetheless created a very strong institution, stronger than any that had existed in America prior to 1787. One of the misconceptions relating to the original presidency is the sense that the founders were deathly afraid of establishing a monarchy and that they would never do anything that would result in something that resembled a monarchy. There's some truth to that view. There were lots of people who said that the people can't stomach a monarchy. On the other hand, there were lots of people who thought that what we needed was something like a monarchy or something that approached it. And you see this division of opinion in the Philadelphia Convention, the convention that created the Constitution and by extension created the presidency, with some people trying to strengthen the executive and other people trying to weaken it, right? So the people who wanted a weak executive, they wanted to create a plural executive, a triumvirate composed of people from throughout the country. And the idea was if we have a triumvirate, no one person can become dominant. As Edmund Randolph of Virginia put it, the unitary executive is a fetus of a monarchy. Other folks wanted a strong presidency. They wanted a president that wasn't chosen by Congress, that could serve many years and or many terms. It wasn't as if the strong executive forces won every battle. They didn't. But whenever they lost, they seemed to regroup, and they more often than not prevailed, and we get the executive that we have today. One of the interesting stories behind their victories is a sense that George Washington is going to be the first president. And so some people who wanted a weaker president, looking back on the convention, said the office was created for the man. In other words, they were in part voting thinking that, well, Washington can be trusted with these sorts of powers. And they lamented that fact because they said, well, Washington's not always going to be president. The book doesn't try to convince people who have different points of view about how the Constitution ought to be applied today or what it ought to mean today. It just says if you think it's relevant to your theory of the Constitution, what it meant in 1789, or if you're just interested in the question of what type of executive they constructed, then read the book.